to tonight's show. Why is there even a show tonight? This is not supposed to happen. This is supposed to be an off night, but I just can't help myself. That's part of the problem. Tonight we are talking about Scream. It's a Scream, baby. It's a Scream. You know, we're not a news. This is not a news channel. We don't cover news per se, but this felt like it had to be discussed. This is egregious what's happened on a certain level. I just don't understand the business of movie making sometimes. Not that I have a lot of experience with it, but I don't get those guys. I just don't understand why they do some of the things they do. So as you can tell by the title of this video, as of right now, Neve Campbell is not going to be in the new Scream film. She's out. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Does that basically torpedo Scream 6 permanently? I don't know. Well, I do. Actually, I do. I think I have a lot of answers to some of these questions, or at least opinions. I could say I have opinions. Everybody on the internet has an opinion. This is from Dateline. Dateline is who broke the story. Now, this had been on Twitter a little bit earlier than when this dropped, but it's now officially broke with Dateline. I wasn't really paying it any mind until Dateline said something. We've officially heard that Neve Campbell won't be reprising her role as Sidney Prescott in Paramount Spyglass Media's Scream 6, which is supposed to come out in less than a year. Word began to leak on the convention circuit with Campbell, and she says today, sadly, I won't be making the next Scream film. As a woman, I have to work extremely hard in my career to establish my value, especially when it comes to Scream. The actress says about her turn in the $744 million plus grossing. Whoa, that is a tongue twister right there. The $744 million plus grossing global franchise. I feel the offer that was presented to me did not equate to the value that I have brought to the franchise. It has been a very difficult decision to move on. To all my Scream fans, I love you. You've always been so incredibly supportive to me. I am forever grateful to you and to what this franchise has given me over the past 25 years, adds Campbell. Campbell currently stars in the Netflix series The Lincoln Lawyer, blah, 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 more blah, 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 blah. Here's something. Okay, the latest Scream fired up a rebound year at the box office for Paramount, grossing $140 million worldwide for a rated R movie. That's pretty darn good, pretty darn formidable. Campbell returned with original Scream dramatist persona Courtney Cox, who plays Gail Weathers, and David Arquette plays Doobie Riley. The next Scream movie will see Hayden Panettiere return as Kirby Reed, which is from the Scream 4, which I'm not a big fan of. A role that she carved out in Scream 4. New franchise cast members, Jenna Ortega, my new forever love, Scream Queen, awesomeness. I love Jenna. She's amazing. Melissa Barrera, Jasmine Savoy Brown, who's also really great, and Mason Gooding are coming back for Scream 6. So you got this core forecast from the last Scream in the new film, the New Blood, and they're great New Blood at that. I like this New Blood. They're good. In the next installment, opening on March 31st, 2023, the 4 survivors of the Ghostface killings leave Woodsboro behind to start a fresh chapter. That sounds a lot like Scream 2. Filmmakers Radio Silence, which is Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, who are behind the last chapter, are coming back with James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick co-writing the screenplay. I'm sure it'll be EP'd by Kevin Williamson. Okay, so let's just do a really quick breakdown about what she's saying here and what this looks like. So she starts off her statement saying, as a woman, I have to work extremely hard in my career to establish my value, especially when it comes to Scream. And I think that means a couple of things. One, it's really hard. It's really hard to get paid the way men get paid if you're a woman in any vocation, let alone the Hollywood system, right? We hear about this all the time, how male co-stars always end up commanding larger fees than their female co-stars, and some of them are just out. The gaps in some of these paydays are outrageous, right? Now, is Neve Campbell hurting for money? No, not at all. But as someone who has, you know, been with this franchise for 25 years and done really well by them, essentially being the face of the series and always delivering, you would think that they would do anything that they could to keep her happy. Because here's the thing. Does Scream 6 need Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott? The honest truth is no. I don't think it does. And that's nothing against Neve Campbell, who I have the utmost respect for. She's done her time, man. You saw her phoning it in Scream 4. You saw her phoning it in Scream 5. I mean, she does it for the paycheck, and rightfully so, man. God bless her. I get it, but I feel like she has not really cared, really, truly, in any meaningful kind of way since Scream 3. And at the same time, it's like, we love Neve Campbell. We love Sidney Prescott. We want her to be okay. We want to see her in the series, but we don't want to see her get axed or whatever. I love the idea of a cameo in Scream 6 where Sidney is just living her best life. She's not getting involved in the drama, but she makes an appearance for the sake of the fact that it's a Scream movie and that she needs to be represented in some way, shape, or form. And that's what I would have loved from a Scream 6. Now, from what it sounds like, they made her an offer that was really insulting to someone who had been in 5 movies prior, who had, become a goodwill ambassador for this franchise that's made $744 million globally. It's a lot of money. And maybe it speaks to the size of her part. Maybe they thought, well, maybe she was, maybe as it turns out, it was going to be a cameo. They thought, hey, since it's just a cameo, we can lowball her a little bit. I mean, that's what always happens with movies, especially with franchises that are just glutted with sequels, which is kind of like what Scream has made fun of in the past. And now here they are, Scream 6, squeezing blood from a stone in another movie. I've always said that Scream really ends for me. Scream ends at Scream 3. I'm perfectly happy with the trilogy of films. I love the way they end. It's perfect. I don't need anything more. I'm happy. I'm complete right now. But if you're going to keep making them and you're going to have Sidney's story continued, and Sidney's going to be represented, Neve Campbell deserves to be paid, man. She deserves it. Break her off her piece. Having her name value adds legitimacy to the film. Although, because this is so public, perhaps people realize that it's not a story. It's not like she's not returning because she didn't think the story was bad. It was because she's not getting paid in the way that she says, I felt that the offer that was presented to me did not equate to the value I brought to the franchise. I do not, I can't hold that against her, It sucks when this stuff happens. It is what it is. Maybe she had like an agent in her ear going, maybe she was okay with it. And she had an agent in her ear who was just like, no, F that. You're friggin' Sidney Prescott in this series. You're the Laurie Strode of this series, and they need to treat you like the Laurie Strode of the series. This is no good. This is not fair. Now, is this permanent? Is she really, truly not coming back? You know what? I think she's holding out. I think this is a flex. It's a flex that has unfortunately gone public. It sounds like, they announced Scream 6 a while ago, and she hasn't been announced as officially returning, which means that maybe they were just trying to hold out, and then something happened at a convention where she felt that it was appropriate to finally officially say, hey, I'm not coming back. But as long as she didn't say anything, I mean, it really didn't mean she was or was not coming back. It's just, it's just something that could be or couldn't be. And I still don't think the book is closed. That's the way these things always work, man. They're probably figuring out how they can make her happy or coming to a number that makes sense. And she'll be back. Now, does does Scream 6, as I said before, does Scream 6 need Sidney Prescott? No, it doesn't. I don't think so. I think it's okay. But here's what happens next. So after that happened, after she announces this, then iHorror reports this here, saying, where is it? Where is it? Check this out. So apparently the production of Scream 6 has been delayed as a result of this announcement. So as I was saying, maybe they were lowballing her because they thought that she, maybe her role was small enough. I mean, I really never understand. If she had a big role and they lowballed her, like, what are you thinking, dude? She's the heart of the franchise. You can't do that. It's not, nobody cares about Ghostface. Everybody cares about her. You can't lowball her. And if it was just a cameo, then maybe they were just trying to lowball her because it was a cameo. It just doesn't matter. You have to pay her what she thinks she's owed, but apparently in response to this news, it appears that production on Scream 6 has been delayed until June 9th. Now that delay may have nothing to do with Campbell's decision, but the two news items are far too close together not to be related. I agree with that. And then David Arquette has weighed in. He's gone on the record and responded to Campbell's decision not to return for Scream 6. I'd love for her to be a part of it. A Scream movie without Sidney is kind of unfortunate. Is it though? But I understand her decision. It's all a business in a way. They have to be balanced, all these elements to fit a budget and produce a film. He's got a great point. Arquette is hopeful about the future of Scream films, though. He says that we know Sidney is alive out there and could potentially return in the future Scream entries if she was so inclined. Yeah, I mean, we all know that. I wouldn't counter out just yet, man. I mean, we're still almost a year away, a little less than a year away. Anything's possible. I don't think, after Wes Craven died, she was adamant about saying she wouldn't return, but she sure did for the first one. She was ready to do it for this one. And it was just not enough money. It wasn't the right amount. I can't fault her for that. And as I said, you could tell she's doing it for the money. So if the money's not good and you want her in it, it would be nice to have, a cameo. I did a whole video about saying, hey, leave Sid alone. Meaning like we've had enough of Sidney now. You have these great new characters. You have Jenna Ortega. Like, what else do you need? Jenna Ortega is the perfect torch carrier for this series. You got you got the daughter of Billy Loomis. I mean, you just got it. You got some Shakespearean conflict there, all set up and ready to go. You don't need Sidney anymore. In fact, having Neve Campbell in such a large role, or in the size of the role that she was in the fifth one, felt really forced and unfortunate, frankly. You could have made that movie without her altogether. And we talked about this in a previous episode. Go check that out. The last thing I will say is this. This is a quick one. A friend, Daniel Baldwin, he's on Facebook. He wrote something that I really think sums up this whole situation. Okay. It's super quick. He wrote this on Facebook. He said, this is what made me kind of inspired to make this video. Daniel says, Neve Campbell sitting out Scream 6 isn't a bad thing. I don't think it's, like I said, I kind of wanted, I think a cameo would be nice. Just a cameo. It sucks that it's happening over a pay issue. That I would 100% agree with. It would make more sense. It would be better if it was over a story issue, but the fact that it's over a pay issue, they should just pay her, man. But from a narrative standpoint, there's really no reason for her character to return yet again. It's true. Just give her a cameo, just a little cameo, just so that she's there. Show us Gail on the news. That's all we need. Since the torch has already been passed to a new generation of characters, you would not only bring her back at this point, you would only bring her back at this point if you're either going to kill her off, make her one of the killers, or both, which would be ridiculous. All of the above would be ridiculous. Best to just let Sidney Prescott live happily ever after off screen with her husband, Mark Kincaid from Scream 3 and kids. I agree thoroughly. I do. I mean, you can mention her. They could still write her in. We don't have to we just don't have to see her. But again, a cameo would be nice. My thoughts and feelings on this are really fully expressed on the video we did a few months back, talking about how the torch has been passed. We really don't need another adventure with Gale and Sydney at this point. Just having them in the background will work just fine. Let me tell you real quick about our sponsor, riotstickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. If you need stickers, go to riotstickers.com. They are great for all of your sticker needs. We got doing more great activities with them in the future. I'm going to play the super quick.
We make stickers, banners, and buttons too. Posters and promo cards. There's nothing we can't print for you. From stage backdrops to bass drum heads. We can print on shirts. We can print on hats. We can print on pants. Cheap prices and high quality. Quick turnaround times and free shipping. We also offer free artwork support. Great customer service and so much more. RiotStickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. RiotStickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. RiotStickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb. RiotStickers.com. Riot Stickers, we are the bomb.
And that's really it. There's nothing else to say about this topic. We'll see you probably at some point in this week. Check out the Vernon Wells Q&As that I did from the Mad Max Drive-In-a-thon. That'll be up soon. And more to come. More to come. We're going to have Tank is coming back. We're going to have Franche come on in the near future. I don't think we're going to be covering any more Scream. I don't know, unless something's really pressing. I just felt like we had done that update with Stu, and it was just necessary, discussing whether Stu was the third killer, which they still could do. They could still bring him back, man. I mean, all of that could work. You could still make all that stuff work without Sydney Prescott. You don't need her. And frankly, you don't need Gale as well. We got Amy in the chat. Amy says, is it true that Neve Campbell won't be returning the Scream franchise? As of right now, that seems to be the case, Amy. And we just did a whole explanation as to whether that's good or bad or indifferent. And it's a little bit of both. It's good and it's bad for numerous reasons. I know that Amy has stated she was a big fan of Scream. She's a big, what's up, Rue? Rue's in the house. Amy has stated she was a big fan of Scream 2022. I had fun. We did a whole thing. I did a whole thing with my friend Mark, who messaged me about this news. So I had to jump on here and talk about it. But that's really it, guys. That's it. Super short episode. I'll be back this week with something live. I think we'll be doing something Ramonesy, maybe. Amy, I think now that we have Jenna Ortega, like, we don't need Neve Campbell anymore. At the end of the day, like, could have her, but she just needs to be a cameo. That's the bottom line. All right, guys, have a good night. Sorry, this one was so short. Peace and hair grease. Oh, and Patreon.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jeff. So I've decided to make a Patreon. What is Patreon? I don't know how to define a Patreon. Let me look it up. Patreon is a membership platform that makes it very easy for creators to get paid for the things that they're already creating. I want to do it full time. I want this to be my full-time job. In my efforts to make that happen, I've set up this platform. Is it going to work? Is it going to be successful? I don't know, but I would rather try and crash and burn than not try at all. The goal is to create enough passive revenue so that I can continue to do this full-time, uninterrupted. Why? Because I love to do this. I love creating content. I love making videos. I love shooting films. I love doing podcasts. In case you couldn't tell, I love to talk and I never shut the fuck up. So right now I've kept the Patreon incredibly simple. There's 2 tiers, and that may change in the future. The Murdergram is a simple way to extend support for all of the hours and hours of free content on the channel for nothing more than $1. 38 cents goes to Patreon. What's $1.38, eh? It's less than a cup of coffee, but it's a great way that you can show support for very little effort. When you divide that $1.38 by the hours and hours and hours of time spent listening to this endless drivel of content, the dollar cost average works out. Next up is the YouTube Casualty for $6.66. The YouTube Casualty is loaded to the gills. Enjoy the archive ad-free, as well as ad-free early access to special docu-style podcast videos, music reaction commentaries, and the like, a month before they drop on YouTube, loaded with ads, I might add. You're also going to get exclusive content and behind-the-scenes content that is not available on YouTube or anywhere else. So you get to peek behind the veil. And believe me, there's a couple of choice pieces. Most of all, more than anything, whether you join the Patreon or not, I just want to thank each and every one of you that comes to the channel, that watches all the shows, that leaves comments, that participates, that subscribes. That's really the most important thing. This is just trying to find a way to earn a living as an artist. And with that, thank you for my TED Talk. Join the Patreon, because we need you!
66 cents.